So you decided to join up and fight in a Revolutionary War. I have a question for you today. Where does your weapon come from? Well, at the beginning of the Revolutionary War, the Continental Congress simply didn't have enough weapons to go around to all the various service people who were going to fight at that time. So your weapons could have come from a couple different sources. It could have come from your home, maybe a remnant from your father or your grandfather, something that was passed down to you. These are bird hunting muskets, and yes, they were used during the Revolutionary War, but they weren't ideal. Instead, you also have hand-me-downs, again, from the 7 Years or the French Indian War. These also would have been considered obsolete at the time. Lastly, there are weapons that could have come from Great Britain and other parts of the British Empire, and those are going to be harder and harder to find, especially as events take shape and it's harder to bring those weapons in. Well, the last option is one of the pieces that you see right here. This is a Rappahannock forge musket that was made right here in the United States, specifically in Virginia. The person who founded the Rappahannock forge was James Hunter. Originally from Scotland, he will set up a forge that will make different bits for metal, including bridle bits used to direct horses and fasteners and other elements for cabinetry. But he also made weapons. The Continental Congress contracted him, and you can see some of the examples of these items if you look at marks here. One says I, Hunter, and sometimes they used I instead of the letter J in engravings. And then also Rappa Forge is also on this musket that you can see, letting you know where it came from. Lastly, who made this musket? Well, we have tax records that we know that James Hunter actually paid taxes on 260 people of African descent, meaning that people of African descent, enslaved individuals, actually helped to manufacture these weapons. This is interesting to note because in the state of Virginia, as far back as 1640, people of African descent were actually prohibited from utilizing weapons. So it's really important to consider that even though they weren't able to use these weapons for war, they did help make the weapons, meaning they played a key role in the Revolutionary period.